Alrighty, hello everyone. Oh my goodness, it has been a while. Well, a little bit of a while. Welcome everyone to episode 43 of the What Is She podcast, where Alana and myself will be discussing and breaking down and just casually freaking out about Critical Role Campaign 2 episode 134 and a little bit of 133 because we did not cover it last week, but we will be discussing at least a few of the high points from the previous episode. I really want to talk a little bit about Ford's decision, and then we can go a little bit into the beginning of the fight. You know, taking out 3 of the Tomb Takers,
Yes.
and almost taking out 3 in the process.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's some pretty awesome stuff. But once we're all caught up on 133, we will dive right into last night's episode. But let's talk quick about one of the biggest talking points for last episode, and that was Ford's decision to have the Rangers engage.
Yeah.
Pretty
that
intense.
And it was such a cool moment because
Yeah.
Travis played it so cool, as he was potentially sending people to their deaths, which is not any kind of judgment on the decision. It was just, that's essentially what was happening. He kind of knew the risk involved, but he played it so calmly and coolly. And I think the fact that it was just him and Essek awake made it even more kind of poetic, or not so much poetic, but just kind of more scary, I guess, because no one else could share their opinions. But I think like some of the cast were kind of as shocked as many viewers were. But it's just like, he made the hard decision. He made the really hard decision. I guess in Ford's mind, it's end of the world. We need as much help as we can get here. If we can somehow manage to slow them down in any way, it could be good. Or even like if we could somehow hide the fact that we're here, if they think these are the only people here, we need that advantage in any way. And I kind of agree with him.
I mean, it was, we were all shocked. The cast was shocked. I think a lot of critters were shocked, but it wasn't shock in the sense of like, oh my gosh, I never thought he would do this. It's like he actually did it. Like, because we were all kind of thinking, like, when Essek asked, do you want me to ask the Rangers to engage or not? And I feel, for me internally, I was like, oh, like, it would be kind of smart to do it, but, oh, you're sentencing these people to die. And I feel like that's kind of like a general thought process people were having. And then when he said yes, we're like, oh, the madman did it. He actually said yes.
It was so quick too. Like, he didn't really contemplate it. It was he clearly thought about what he would have said in that situation, or had Essek come back and said, "Oh, they've approached." Travis, I think, would have been like, "Okay, well, they should attack." So the fact that it was just his decision essentially in this moment. Bit strange that Essek was kind of like, I know Essek's along for the ride, but it's Essek's men. He's like, what should I do? Essek might have had a bit more of a call to line, but
I definitely agree with that.
He seemed to respect the decision.
Yes. Because ultimately, the Rangers are expendable. Because it hurts to say that, but they're the foot soldiers. They know what they're sworn to do. They know what they have to do. Exactly. So it sucks. And that was a really difficult decision to make. But again, Ford was working on such little information. Because I remember he was talking in this most recent Talks episode about how he wasn't sure how close they were, how far they were, how much time they actually had. So he made the best decision with the knowledge and information that he had. And ultimately, hindsight's 2020. Obviously, it didn't help very much. But I still think, regardless, he made the right call.
Yeah. Well, we don't really know, like, if they did manage to do some damage, and realistically, if that helped in the end. But I think for a stealth point of view, it probably would have helped, because it would have masked, I think, the fact that the Mighty Nine could be there. It could have helped in that regard. We won't know, and I don't think until like an end of campaign talks would Matt actually reveal if that was a good thing or not.
Mm-hmm.
And he might not, because it might not be a good thing, and that could make Travis feel bad. But no, I think it was the right call. I think it was like the most difficult call, and also probably only one that Ford could make. At least could make so calmly and collected. Because I could see, like, I reckon Yasha would make a similar call. I reckon Veth would make a similar call, but probably in very different manners, in very different kind of, with different feelings towards the matter, probably.
But Ford was very direct and.
Yeah. No, it was a really cool moment, and as I was watching, I was like, "Oh, there's going to be some discussion about this."
Yeah,
This is a big thing. But no, I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I'm super happy with that scene. A really awesome moment for Travis and Ford, and I really just appreciate the heck out of Travis as a player.
Oh yeah.
His range is crazy, because we think back to last campaign, he was Grog, low intelligence, doesn't have a lot to say, and in this one we get to see Travis really shine in that charismatic light.
But he was such a dedicated player as Grog too.
Oh yeah,
Like, he would think of something, and he'd be like, "Can't say it, can't say it."
Yeah,
Grog.
Exactly.
He would play to his character so well. So I agree. It's so great to see him play. Maybe just someone with a bit more, well, to be fair, intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of people saying how this was CEO Travis peeking through in this scene.
Yeah. Making the hard decisions.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I can't do that.
No. Never catch me doing that. But that's exactly why they appointed him to be the CEO. He's able to pull it off. But after we had that scene, we had the brilliant traps set by the party. Like they did so well. They did so well with their planning.
This is one of I think the few times they spent so long planning and discussing, and then it actually paid off.
Yeah. Very
which is
very
not
well.
Throwing shade at them. That's just how D&D works. But they have a tendency to overplan, and then it just doesn't matter, or it doesn't work out. Or they just, wing it anyway. But this was like so good. They actually planned it out. They actually had everything in place. Some things confused me a bit. I was like, why are they doing it? But I try not to backseat game. I just try to watch it and enjoy.
Yeah.
But like, it worked, and they got a really good win from it. They get through the Tomb Takers. Those guys would have sucked later in the fight. So yeah, definitely. It felt a little like sad that's how those three went out. Like, we didn't get one last combat with them, but
yeah. Oh well. I kind of felt that too. Like, I was like, oh, three of them are just done, like right off the bat. Like when he was placing the minis and three of them were prone, I was like, oh shit, wait, are we gonna win?
And also not just prone, they were like unconscious. I didn't get that. I thought like, oh, maybe they've just fallen down, they've really hurt. But then when Ford was taking attacks and Matt's like, oh, it's an auto crit, I'm like, oh shit, this is like death saves. Like this is, they're gonna just take them out. Man, it would have been good if it was Kree though.
Oh, I know. But I think it's definitely safe to assume that Kree and Lucian are definitely a higher like standard level than the other ones.
I think so. I think Kree is much more powerful than when we saw her back in Zadash. And then Lucian is essentially a legendary creature, so they're pretty safe. Like Matt described her as looking pretty messed up though, which was interesting. But it'll be interesting to know that if like she's using, well, I guess they're resting now maybe, but yeah, she's been using spells to heal up and using spells to teleport and escape. Could be interesting how like that works, but if they're resting, it probably doesn't matter. yeah,
it seems like both parties are going to be at full power level when they meet again.
Hopefully.
But yeah, I mean the fight went really really well. Unfortunately, Kree has a special cape, special cloak that allowed them to dimension door out of there. And I felt bad because Travis saw it as like a big loss. That whole situation, and like the rest of the cast was trying to encourage him, be like, no, this was awesome. And I definitely think this was a major win. Like, maybe a little bit of a loss because yes, the rest of the Tomb Takers are expendable, but that's still 3 less, like pretty darn powerful enemies that they don't have to deal with anymore.
Yeah, and I was always still hung up with like the fact that Lucian and Kree still need to carry these threshold crests. They're like heavy. They're going to slow them down to some extent. The fact that they got rid of their can't remember his name, the
Zoran.
Goliath, Zoran. Yeah, they got rid of Zoran, so like he can't necessarily carry it for them. It's going to slow them down to some extent. But it also seemed like Otis was probably like their tracker. And I mean, Typhol was their major magic user.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I know Kree has spells and Lucian's all kinds of jacked up.
But their range of capabilities is definitely a lot smaller now.
And the ability to focus fire, unless there's going to be some shenanigans when they do fight and there are like, you know, creatures or other entities joining the fray. Because that is like, when you've got like just the one creature to focus on in a big fight, it's not as difficult as it seems because you can focus your fire. So I feel like Matt's probably going to bring in other elements to the fight between those two. Jumping ahead a little bit.
Yeah,
jumping right ahead.
We rarely ever jump ahead, so it's fine. We can make an exception every now and then, as long as we don't jump ahead. Every episode. I mean.
No, that would get a little old hat.
Yeah, that would get a little but they were unfortunately able to escape, and now, starting now with the new episode 134, they decided to pursue. And I didn't actually expect them to manually move the rubble. I thought they were gonna like do their own like teleporting, like across like another dimension door or like an arcane gate or something. But nah, they just.
I thought the same too. Because I felt, if I was a player at the table, I felt like the way Matt described it was, this is either impassable or it is incredibly dangerous.
That's exactly
so the fact that they managed to clear it, I think it only took them like an hour or maybe even less than an hour. Like I think
it was like 45 minutes-ish.
Yeah, it wasn't super long. And they managed to clear it. They did have Essek, which I think helped a lot because he's just like, Doodlemancy. But no, I was surprised. I was like, oh, I would not have thought of that. But it's probably different when you're in the moment. Yeah, it's cool. I liked it. I like that they decided to follow. I like that they didn't like go, all right, we need to regroup. Let's go back out. Let's, find Dagon. Let's do all this. I was like, no, we're here. Let's go. Please keep going ahead.
But to that point with Dagon, as they were pushing through and sort of deciding what do we do next? Do we keep chasing them down? Do we investigate? Do we look for other avenues? Like, what do we do?
Yeah.
Essek got a phone call, and it turns out that Dagon is alive, along with a handful of other rangers.
He's too good to die.
Exactly. You can't kill Dagon. You can't.
But it makes sense because his character is about staying alive. So, no, I was really pleased with that. You could see the relief on Travis's face.
Yeah.
But I see people talking about Talks a lot too. I haven't seen Talks yet, so I'm excited. Apparently, there's a lot of, obviously Travis is on it, but apparently Travis talks about that a lot. Shit, but just know I haven't seen it yet. So anything I say is speculation.
But what's interesting is that there were survivors.
Yes.
So either that tells me that the Tomb Takers did not care that they were there and just pushed through them, or they just let them escape, like they started running away and they just didn't feel the need to kill them. Yeah. I guess.
Or maybe some of the Rangers hid. It could have been that.
Or maybe there was like some disagreements on, no, let's engage. No, let's not engage. There's no way we can do this.
I could see
that's a good point.
Dagon hiding. I don't know. He fought he didn't fight the Tomb Takers, but he fought with he saw the Tomb Takers fight the dragon, so he has some idea of their abilities at the very least from a distance. So I could see him being like, nope, like nope, no to this. It'd be interesting to find out how they did survive. I think it was the first thing you said of the Tomb Takers kind of just went through and like got in their way. They
didn't even care. Like they've got better things to do than
pretty much
about these folks.
Yeah, no, but yay,
yeah,
he's alive.
Yay, Dagon's alive, and some of the other Rangers are alive, which is fine. So it's a little bit of a weight off of Travis's back, but still, it sounds like a few souls were lost in the battle.
Yeah,
hey, that's just the way it goes.
Yeah. But yeah, so then that's pretty much the start of this episode. Like, what happened next? There was
they started pursuing. They went back into the Presidious ward, and they were talking about Caduceus really wanted to go back to the amphitheater to check out that bubble and like the official looking person in there. But before they actually went there was a little side journey. Where Travis got a ping in the mausoleum of got like a divine sense ping, but ultimately they decided not to poke the hornet's nest or poke the unknown nest. We don't really know what was in there.
Yeah. So I need to check the what is it? The divine sense. Someone in chat can tell me. I played a paladin. I just can't remember. It's celestial, undead, or fiend, correct? But is it? It's creature. It picks up on creatures. Is that correct? Or is it just a sense? Or it's... I don't know. Like, what did he actually pick up on? Because I don't think the creatures are any of those things. I think they're monstrosities. So, or Fae. So I'm wondering if you picked up on something else. I know Caleb got, like, the ping of necromantic magic.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So I think there's something else in there. I think that wasn't so much like a throwaway from Matt to waste time. That was very much like, there's an item in here. If you go in there, you're going to have to fight this creature. But then there's some kind of reward. Maybe it's cursed. Who knows? But I think there's still definitely an item in there. I would love to see if when they defeat Lucian, defeat the city, you know,
when they're victorious.
They're on their way back. They're like, hey, let's just, pop in and have a look.
They'll stop by here when they're level 20, super powerful, and they'll be totally fine.
Oh boy!
But speaking of other things that were left a mystery this episode, what is it that Caleb is seeing when Jester scries?
Ooh, we're jumping real ahead here.
Oh, is that ahead? Oh, that is ahead.
That was right at the end of the episode.
Oh, that was at the end.
Wasn't it?
For some reason I thought that was earlier on.
Wasn't it?
But no, because she did only do one scry this episode.
She communed last episode, and I think that's when... I think it was the commune last episode, and that's when Caleb made the perception check, and Matt texted him something that he saw. And then it was the scry at the end of this episode where Liam's like, oh, do I see the same thing that I saw as an ape? And he's like, you do. It's like, But should we say that for the end?
Yeah, we can say that for the end. Yeah. I thought it was earlier on. That's my bad.
Theories, so many theories.
But they skipped out on the mausoleum, and then they decided to split up the party a little bit. Veth and Bo trudged forward, while the rest of the party stayed behind and actually spoke with Typhel.
Yes,
using Speak with Dead, which we got a lot of interesting information from that. I'm super excited.
I was glad they picked Typhel instead of Otis. I feel like out of all of them, Otis would be the one to give them the least information.
Yeah, probably.
Although Typhel probably seemed to be maybe the most switched on of the three. So
yeah.
Caduceus did such a good job. Was this where he said he was acting, or was that like before?
Yes. Was that the second one? He said, I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna act.
Yep. Yeah. No, that was very cute. But yeah, I thought that was because Matt played that really well, I think, because he is essentially asking this creature questions that Kree would know. So I liked that it was suspicious, but it still, believed him enough to answer.
And to be fair, Caduceus actually did a pretty good job with trying to phrase the questions in a way where it, there was like, plausible deniability. It was subtle enough to where, Typhel could be like, this is a little weird, but okay, I'll go along with it.
Yeah. But it's good because they got solid information of like that they were moving forward. They weren't stuck at this place.
Yep.
They were going the right direction essentially, which was super useful because they were really hung up on this tower for a while of like, this is, maybe they're in there, maybe this is where it is.
And then we got the information that they were a day away. Like, or like of travel.
Yeah,
like their destination is a day away.
It's still a day to travel, which is like awesome.
Yeah, that was the best thing they could probably hear in that scenario.
Yeah, it then did probably make them like, oh, let's explore a bit.
Yeah, probably.
We got time.
We got time to kill. What are we doing?
And remember what they managed to do in like 3 days the week before, like all over the place. No, so I think that was really good. That was a really good use of the spell, and it worked well because sometimes talk with dead can be really frustrating and just not get you the answers you want. So I'm excited that it did work, and it worked really well the second time too, which we'll get to. But yeah, I was with Caduceus in wanting to go to the amphitheater and releasing this mage person.
I know.
And I understand why, like, Bo didn't really want to, because they had tried before. So I get that was like, this could be just a huge waste of time. But I was so on board. I was like, yes, release an ancient mage.
I know, there's got to be something. There's got to be something they can do. I think before they were just using like low level dispel magic. Like, what if you need to throw out like a 5th level dispel or something, like a 6th level?
I won't spoil it. It's in the Explorer's Guide to Wildmount what you need to do for those bubbles.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's like you can look it up. Yeah, there's specific things you need to do, which slight spoiler, I guess, they wouldn't be able to do at this point.
Oh, gotcha.
Which is a shame, but it is possible to some extent. But yeah, I was just like, yes, get the wizard out, please. Oh, sad.
Unfortunate.
But
we were able to get another Speak with Dead scene, and this one was spicy. This one was exciting.
So much lore.
I love hearing about the lore of Aeor because it's so darn interesting. And this one gave us the name of one of the Somnovum, right? One of the architects.
That's what I think. I was like, is this a Somnovum? Like, is this someone from the Cognouza ward? It wasn't super clear.
It wasn't super clear, but it definitely felt like that's what it was. What was their name? Bouchard?
Ryshan?
Ryshan?
Something like that. I heard Ryshan and I freaked out.
Oh my gosh, imagine.
It was something like that. Rashun, I don't know. But like, what brings you to the Colosseum? To beseech Roshan to protect us. So that's terrifying. The fact that these people knew it was like they had time to get to this place to like
to learn about what was happening.
Help. Which like it gives me like images of like Pompeii or something, of like, the city's going down. What are we gonna do? Brashar. I'm gonna go. Yeah. So that's horrific. But yeah, so they said that it's Brashar, the Great Mage, Architect, and then I think you wrote it down a bit better than I did, but he said something along the lines of put images in our mind, or
they filled their minds with thoughts that drew the ire of the gods.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we kind of knew because they were very anti-god, and they were constructing weapons to take him down.
I know, but like it makes me excited.
Yeah.
You can probably guess why it makes me excited. Yeah. Like, I think I've got the theories going off here, but like if the Cognouza ward were like these people trying to, you know, make matter with their minds and change reality with their imagination, and they somehow were able to abscond with their section of the city to the astral sea, which then caused the crash of Aeor. Like, what could have potentially have called them to the astral sea? What made them do that? What made them separate from Aeor when they were supposedly in battles with the gods or like fighting against the gods? And all I can think is like, they were called there by a betrayer god, or they were like enticed by a betrayer god.
Yeah.
And it came, I'm not going to jump ahead, but it came up later in the episode too. Lucian said something where I'm just like, fuck, it's fucking Tharizdun. I swear to God,
it's gotta be.
It's gotta be Tharizdun.
Like there's no way it's not. There's no way. There's no way Tharizdun isn't linked back into this somehow. There is a 0% chance that Tharizdun isn't involved in some way, shape, or form.
Because you got to think, like, the Aeorian hunters, the creatures that they made, they're resistant to radiant and necrotic. They made these creatures so that they were safe from both divine gods, prime deities, and betrayer gods, at least to some extent. Obviously, a god could probably just squish it. But they had protection from celestials and fiends in that regard. So they weren't just against the prime deities, they were against the betrayer gods too. I could see drawing the ire of the gods. What if, like, you know, old mate Tharizdun's just like, oh, fuck this city. Like,
yeah.
Canon. That's how it happened. Oh my god.
But then, okay, let's say Tharizdun is behind, like, planting this power or these images into the Somnovum to perform something like this.
Yes.
That must mean that this city, whatever's happening there in the Astral Sea, might be like a key to Tharizdun's like return. But then there's still the shackles that are bounding him.
What if it's like his vessel? What if he doesn't need the shackles to be broken if he can physically transport his... I don't know if Tharizdun has a body. He's kind of described as like this massive chaos. I don't know. But maybe he needs like a physical form to take so that he can come back. Maybe the shackles is just his consciousness. Maybe this is like... I'm going off the deep end here. Maybe this is like he can actually physically come back. And yes, of course, Amanda the Moon is involved somehow. Sorry, pseudonym also brought it up. The Moon is involved somehow.
100%.
Oh god.
100%.
Yeah. So anyway, the third question.
Anyways, there were more questions. There's more.
I'll talk more about it later. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when I'm about to talk about it so you can turn off if you don't want to hear it. But
no, it's great.
Yeah. But what did she do was the next question, or something along those lines. Yeah, but that was filled minds with... Oh, that was that part. She filled our minds with thoughts, drew the ire of the gods.
Yeah.
Very cool. Do you know what the eyes and Nine are? No idea. How do we... I wrote, for the last question, it was how to stop. And the answer was around. So I can't remember what that question actually was.
Or I think it was like what happened or something. Because it was like, like take a look around at destruction. This is what happened. It was, I think it was something like that.
It's such a bitch answer. Which is such like a well, look around. Yeah. Like, okay, dude, come on.
Yeah. This
need to be dramatic.
They picked the sarcastic asshole out of all the bodies.
Yeah, pretty much. No, that was such a good Speak with Dead. They got so much lore from that. And so many great jumping off points for crazy theories.
I love it when we get names. Because it was just, like the Somnovum, because it was just like this, the Somnovum. What does that mean? Who are they? And then when we get name drops like Brashar, it's like, okay, now we can start imagining someone instead of just like this mysterious amorphous entity.
And what if Brashar is a part of the Cognouza War? What if they are like one of the Somnovum, or like maybe not even the Somnovan, but one of the people from the ward that was, okay with what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they that's why they're in the bubble, because it was less of protect myself, more, I don't know where that thought was going. But maybe a fail safe for the believers. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Oh man, the thought though that those bubbles can be popped, and if the creatures inside are still alive, is actually terrifying.
I know, because who knows how many of these bubbles are just littered across the ruins of Aeor? It could be
exactly
dozens, maybe even hundreds of people that are locked in these little time bubbles.
Yeah. I wonder what caused them too. I wonder if that was if that's just magic, because we saw the ones in A2. It was just looked like a family fleeing.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't necessarily. There was maybe a spellcaster, but I wonder if it could have just happened randomly, or if there was specific. I mean, that's some dunamantic shit right there.
Yeah,
stasis
definitely
bubbles.
Feels like it.
Yeah, no, very exciting. I wonder if we'll get any more of that, or if the Mighty Nine are all just going to die next episode, and so we won't ever get any of that.
Yeah, it's probably that.
Yeah.
But I think the most important thing that came from them going to the amphitheater is Charlie. They now have a new friend. I'm actually surprised that they were able to revive one of them by just swapping out the little crystals.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad it worked that easily, because I love Charlie.
This creature is interesting.
Is there spoiler stuff in the Explorer's Guide to Wildlife about these ones?
Oh well, I don't know, but I haven't seen anything like that. I'm just saying this creature is interesting because it's he's adorable, and Matt is playing him so adorable.
Yeah.
But I'm worried it's an Iron Giant situation where he's got a bonk on his head and he's all kind of messed up, and they're gonna fix him, and he'll be like, all right, kill mode activated.
Yeah, I'm actually a Terminator.
Yeah. And I'm really excited to see where this goes. It's it's too cute. Matthew Mercer
is so good. Yeah, I was getting some, C3PO vibes, Baymax. Someone mentioned Ben from Treasure Planet, definitely.
Yeah. Just the kind of loopy behavior. It's Baymax kind of he's running low on battery. I see people talking about Warforged. I don't think it's a Warforged. I really don't think it's a Warforged. I'll die on this hill. It's fine. But yeah, because I think I've seen Matt before talk about how Warforged aren't canon, I guess, in Exandria. I think it's just an android. I think it's just a creature that was designed by the Aeorians. Because Warforged are essentially characters. They're, they've got people play them, people role play them.
The way Matt's I don't know, because the way Matt was playing this one felt very like a protocol droid. They're just there to assist.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just because it's so damaged that it's just reverting back to its most basic programming. What if when it does get fixed, it does have a fully fleshed out personality, and it is basically,
that that freaks me out from a consciousness point of view, from a living creature point of view. It's and it's Animatrix. It's at what point does the AI and the creatures become cognizant and of, which is I don't want to talk about robotics. That freaks me out. I say thank you to my Google Home because I don't want her to be angry when she rises up.
Yeah, you say your pleases and thank yous to your voice assistants and all that.
Yeah.
Gotta cover your bases. Make sure you're not the first to die when the robots rise up.
I'm only partly joking.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's I don't know. I don't know. I just feel it's Warforged are more alive. Warforged are living creatures. Yeah. This definitely seems as you said, a droid or a robot.
Definitely.
But that being said, he's still really cool.
Still really cool and helpful, because we got the Genesis ward, and that's apparently where Kree and Lucian are heading, and that's also where he can be repaired. Was that what he had alluded to? Because he was like, if you repair me, I might be able to tell you more. Where can we do that? He's like, the Genesis room,
yeah, which is also a horrific name for a ward.
Yeah, that can't be good.
Yeah,
that can't be good.
But no, I am so ready for this creature to turn on them, which would kind of suck. But like,
it would suck. Essek is kind of foreshadowing that too, because he was like, I don't trust it.
It's like Colorado. It's like, you're cute now, but you're gonna betray us
when you grow up. They're cute when they're babies.
I love Colorado so much. He's so good.
Oh.
Colorado. I keep saying Colorado. But what was it? Oh yeah, so he couldn't say anything much about the Cognouza ward or the Somnovum.
Yes.
Do we think there's like some kind of like information dump, or not dump, the opposite of that, like a takeaway? Like, it seemed like he was damaged and couldn't remember a lot of stuff, but it seemed like specific things about the Cognouza ward and the Somnova, and he was just like, nope. Like, he wouldn't even be like, sorry, my information's damaged. It would just be like, I'm Charlie. Like, it would be a complete almost break from character. People don't like that I said Clarita was cute. I'm sorry, he kind of was though. Yeah, so it seemed like it was less of, I'm all messed up. It was more just like he would think about it and then ignore the question completely. So I'm wondering if it's some kind of
it's probably just damage to its memory. Yeah. But I also just wouldn't be surprised, and I kind of want it to be a protocol that was programmed into these droids to erase any mention or any memory of the Cognouza ward when something like this happened. Then that also does give me Ben from Treasure Planet vibes, because Captain Flint took out Ben's memory chip so that he couldn't spread the information about the booby traps that were littered in his treasure trove and all that stuff. So wouldn't be surprised.
I haven't seen Treasure Planet.
Okay. Ben was a droid that had knowledge of a treasure trove with booby traps. The captain took away that memory so he couldn't tell anyone about it. Cool. That's kind of what this feels like.
Cool. Yeah, that's a cool reference.
Yeah.
That sounded really sarcastic. I'm sorry. I meant that is actually a really cool reference.
I think the pause was you were looking for the word reference, and it just it came off that way. But no, you totally
came across really bitchy.
You're totally
cool reference, Nico.
Yeah. Wow, really cool reference. Thank you for sharing. Feels so much better now.
Oh my goodness.
I did not get those vibes. That's okay.
Awesome.
But now Jester is carrying Charlie with them like C-3PO from Star Wars.
Oh yeah, I understand that reference. Yeah, that's really cute. I like that she's just having conversations with him over her shoulder. One thing I did find interesting, and it's probably been brought up before, but they mentioned someone asked the question like, what are the races of Aeor? And they said like it looks like a human elven culture. Mm-hmm. He didn't seem to mention if there were any kind of like dwarf people or halfling people, but it seemed to be mainly human elven, which is interesting. That
is pretty interesting.
I like that. It kind of makes you think of like, well, was it because those were the only? It seemed weird that they'd be the only two races like 3,000 years ago, or like 4,000 years ago.
Yeah.
But it makes it also seem like perhaps Aeor was, they only had human and elves because that's the only races they had. Which brings in all kinds of questions of what the city was like. So it'd be interesting if they found like other remains, other races amongst them. He specifically said they weren't halfling. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, like he made a point to say they weren't any of the smaller races. I mean, I don't think we'd see any orcs or half orcs here. Interesting. Yeah, I thought that was a nice bit.
Yes, so yeah, there probably is more to it than meets the eye. But they are able to continue their pursuit of Lucian with Charlie in tow, and they come across some familiar foes. Well, actually, first they encounter the checkpoint, the security checkpoint.
Yes,
that spire, that electrical spire.
That was cool.
Really cool. Like the world building of Aeor is so genius, and I love that they're here and they're exploring and discovering all this cool stuff, because I never even thought of like there being like a checkpoint, but Matt did, and it makes sense that there is one.
And we got an incredible Boyasha sequence of them.
Oh yeah,
like, making out essentially.
I wrote down. I think I wrote down in my notes. I wrote down staticky kiss.
Staticky kiss.
Staticky kiss. That's what I wrote down.
Yeah, no, it was perfect kind of Boyasha moment. They it was a great image of them like spending that much time touching fingers and kissing, and then like a lightning bolt coming out and taking them down. That would have been pretty funny.
That would have been pretty great.
But that is a kind DM.
Yeah.
But no, that was really cool. I like as you say, I like the idea of a security checkpoint. I like the idea of them having to. It makes me excited to think of like, could they have possibly tricked it? Could they have, tricked it into thinking they had access and they had the can't think of the word. Man, I can't think this early in the morning. They had the that they could go through it. I don't know.
The clearance.
Could they have tricked the machine? What's the word?
I can't remember.
Like certificate, like the certification.
The documents. The. I think I know what the word you're trying to think of, because now I'm trying to think of it and I can't think of it.
Give me 1 second. I think this is gonna kill me.
But anyways, while we're thinking about that, the idea of a security checkpoint being here raised a lot of questions, because that means they were trying to make sure people were in check, that they had the proper documents, the proper whatever they need to pass between different wards and stuff. So if they were this serious about maintaining a semblance of order amongst the populace and stuff, how the heck did they let an entire ward, Cognouza ward, secede and bring about its collapse? Like, where are the checks and balances of this society?
The Cognouza ward might have had the clearance to tell them that. I don't know. That's weird to think of it. Well, I mean, it was clearly the downfall of Aeor when Cognouza ward fucked off. That's I want the lore. I don't care if it's exposition. I just want someone to sit them down and be like, here is what happened.
Yeah.
That would be so good.
And an entire 4-hour episode of just the lore of Aeor. Just everything there is to know about it. That's what I mean,
just think, this goes all the way back to Rumblecusp and Vokodo, of him fleeing the city. That was the first kind of bit we got of this. I want more. I want to know. I'm sure we're gonna get it. I don't see any situation. I mean, apart from early TPK, I don't see any situation where we don't get some decent explanation of how this city got there, what's happened to it, what it wants. It'd really suck if we didn't.
And at the very least, that is going to be a big talking segment in the post-campaign wrap-up discussion.
Oh yeah,
there's gonna be a million questions about Aeor and the city.
Gonna get it one way or the other.
Yeah,
pretty much.
But it would be nice to see it in game, that the party can talk about it and stuff. But yeah, that's why I love all of these little lore drops we've been getting, with Bashar and all these different wards and what they do. It's all very, very interesting. I need a Discovery Channel episode about the lore of Aeor. I should look on ScryTube to see if there's any ScryTube channels that do documentaries on it.
God.
But Caleb with the quick thinking and using global invulnerability to get them through. And they would have gotten away with it if it weren't for the meddling experiments that they made.
Those things are really cool.
What was the dog, the big bear dog thing? Is that also a creation?
Yeah, that's an absorber.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or wait, which one? But then which one's the eye? The tail eye.
Sorry. Yeah. So there's one that looks like a displacer beast, kind of looks like a panther with a big eye tail. That's the absorber. And then there's the big kind of bear hulking creature. It looks like a dog, I guess, but it's like a big kind of almost bipedal creature. That's the reverser.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we didn't get to see its special ability. So I don't think we'll say it, just in case people want to be surprised. Yeah. But pretty much all those, there's 3 of them, they have their like kind of special abilities. We saw the absorber. The absorber was the one where it flings a spell back at you.
So then were these experiments, were these creations maybe meant to be used as like a security force? Like, you know how the police have like canine units and stuff.
Yeah.
Were these meant to do that? Since it feels like they were made specifically to be used against magic users.
I think they were just like some kind of experiment that then when Aeor crashed were like, I don't think they were necessarily used. I think maybe they were like preparing to use them, and then Aeor went under and they kind of just got left. Yeah, maybe they were setting them up for battle with the gods, and it just didn't come to it.
They are god-slaying weapons,
which is pretty cool, but also really messed up. I want to know what kind of god-slaying weapon that baby was, because that's not cool. That baby's real not cool.
Nope. I'm glad we are past that baby.
Because I could just see like Melora's like, I've come to stop you, Aeor. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? All right, I surrender.
Take me away. I'm done.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. How do I say that name? Straight for Crook. I don't think they eat. I think that's the big thing about them. They're like they don't age, they don't eat.
Yeah, they just exist.
They just exist. And isn't that all we could hope for? Just
honestly,
to exist.
It really is.
Yeah.
These absorbers and reversers are living their best life. Their best life out here.
Yeah. But we got the wonderful imagery again of Ford being left alone with a creature, being harried by a creature by himself. The call outs of "There's another one here!" He's just fighting it by himself.
And I love Travis's panic voice, like it when his goofing around panic voice, like the super high pitched, like oh,
yeah, because they were having fun in that fight. I think Caleb he must have been really close.
I think he's at 21 hit points.
Yeah. He got 3. Well, he got 2 big attacks against him from that creature. Whoa, that would have been bad. So that was a close fight in that regard. But no, I think it was a pretty fun fight. I like that it was a chance to show off these creatures. It's, showing that there are still threats here in Aeor, which they knew about. Like, it's not like they were forgetting about that, but in their chase, they're still going to face these threats. I like that. It confused me a bit, but the fact that this was something in front of them and then they got caught up by the creature behind, it's a bit like, oh shit, they're everywhere. But no, it was a really good fight. I liked the combat. I liked that we got Essek finally jumping in and doing stuff.
Yeah.
But this fight has one crowning moment.
One
probably,
very crowning
all
moment.
Of it.
We got some wild magic happening with Ford.
Oh my god! Now I want to ask you, what did you think was happening?
Oh gosh. What did I initially think was happening? I just thought I thought something was growing on his face. I think that's my initial thought. I was like, he sees like dark. There's something's blurring his vision. There's something. He's like a growth or something, or he's going blind.
Oh yeah, because they said like something darker. I was like, oh, this sounds like bad.
Yeah.
But then it was like, oh, you got hair on your hand. One, gross, but also. Yeah. I think in the Discord chat, we were like posting pictures of Cousin It and like we're joking about how like I remember writing, imagine in the big fight against the Tomb Takers, like at the end of the campaign, and Travis is just completely covered in hair. Like we thought he was growing hair, and then it was also like werewolf Travis, werewolf Ford.
Oh,
is this like is he growing like features?
Yeah.
Nope. It was the complete opposite.
Complete opposite. His hair's gone.
Even his eyebrows?
Even his eyebrows. All of his hair. Now, is it permanent?
I don't think so.
Yeah. I don't think so either.
I think that's...
It might be permanent while they're in Aeor, but then when they leave the area, then it might start to grow back.
Yeah. I'd say what Stormy Boy. I think if it's like a normal wild magic table, that feature is specific like 24 hours.
Oh, so, gotcha.
I also like the idea of maybe when they leave Aeor, then we get him fighting Lucian completely bald.
Completely bald.
But I think it would be... I don't think Matt's going to kind of like ruin Ford's aesthetic much for the big fight. And it's such a chant. Back to Travis being such a good player. Such a chant with that, because that's like a big thing to happen to your character, to be completely change their appearance. Especially a character that's so focused on like their beard and... how they present themselves.
Yeah, that's true, actually. That's a good point.
So damn funny, though. Just the imagery coming out from this episode.
I know. It's so good. But speaking of Ford going bald, we have some fan art to look at, and both Alana and I have picked very similar similar pieces of fan art for everyone's enjoyment. So we'll start with Alana's. So here we go. Fan art number 1. This lovely fan art was created. I think we've seen some of their fan art before. Gale Fox at Gale Fox on Twitter. We get to see Werewolf Ford, what we wanted to see, but instead,
it's so good.
Instead, we got Baldy. We got Baldy.
So good. I want to know, did they have that Werewolf Ford ready to go already, or did they draw that so quickly? Because
gosh.
It looks so good.
It does.
But no, it was exactly how I had it in my head. I was like, oh my god, maybe, like, I didn't think fully, but I was like, how cool would it be if this is like Werewolf Ford? It'd be perfect for Travis. Just how...
Look how shiny, look how smooth and shiny his head is. And the tiny eyes.
The little eyes. It would be, because it's essentially every single hair is falling out. It's like, it's not like he's gonna have a buzz cut.
Yeah, nope, it's gone. It is nearly gone.
God.
Oh, but imagine if we had gotten Werewolf Ford. Oh, that would have been cool.
That would have been amazing.
That would have been badass. Definitely good.
This is kind of better though. I kind of like this.
Yeah. I do actually almost like this one better. So then here's mine, because I also liked how they were like, Yasha, we can use some of your hair for Ford.
So I know this one. I think I know which one you picked.
At Miss TV Head on Twitter.
I gotta wait for the lag.
Yep. We have Ford shedding some tears as Yasha is very generously throwing her hair over Ford's head.
With white hair.
Yeah, I think Ford could pull it off.
It's very anime.
It is. I think Ford should give it a try.
The art that's coming out for this episode is incredible.
So good.
Like all the Charlie art, all the bald Ford art. That's hard to say. Bald Ford.
Bald Ford.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
Yeah, using the sovereign glue.
Oh.
The sovereign glue to glue on hair.
Oh. It's a terrible idea.
It is a terrible idea because it's probably gonna grow back.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm so happy. I'm so happy we got the wild magic surge for that.
And then Jester rolled later, remember?
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh no, my hair!"
Yeah.
Like,
my hair could be gone.
Like, yeah. It's very much that whole like, "Oh no, it looks fine. It looks fine." I don't want it to happen to me.
Yeah. No thanks. No thanks. It looks fine, but not that fine. Not fine where I would want it to. Yeah. Definitely.
Oh my goodness. But no, I guess what else?
I mean, there wasn't much left of it. There was like, because when that combat ended, I watched the second half at school earlier today, so I'm able to like see how much longer of the episode there is left. And after that combat, there was only like 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
There was not much left in the episode. Because they wrapped up the episode. They decided to set up. Did they actually set up the dome?
Yeah? No.
They did.
I don't know. It doesn't actually seem like they did they?
Well, I think they had to have, because I think they ultimately went to sleep. Yeah. Because then they had the dream at the end. The last two big things that happened were the dream and the scry.
So they probably just did a ritual cast of the dome. Yeah. To get it up.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
But they did the scry. So the scry was the first thing. So we got to see one that they were both a bit injured. Yeah. Seemingly wrapping themselves up and tidying themselves up. We got to see maybe where they are. They're near water, running water. I'm wondering if that is actually a feature of the city, or if that's like they're at the cavern where the Cognouza water is, and they've just got like ice water running from Aeor itself. Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot to think of where they are. The other thing too is we got Lucian's monologue, which before we talk about that, I want to know what you think. Do you think Lucian was like acting? Like they did bring that up of like, I think he knew I was there, but how much of what he said was kind of true? Like, or not even that, because I think what he said was probably truthful, but are they actually resting? Was that all for show, for like the scry?
I think they're resting. I think what he was saying was truthful, but he was this felt like very much like him taunting the party with what he was saying. He was like, "We're gonna rest up so that you can rest up, so we can have an equal footing in a battle." That's the vibe I got.
Yeah, same.
And then with his monologue talking about I'm here to take my reign, long may it be. I was like, you shit, you fucker.
So I've got the monologue. Adam in the Discord chat typed it up, which is amazing. So I was going to go back and rewatch it and write it out, but Adam actually typed it up.
Let's hear what he had to say. Yeah,
so it's, "Don't worry, we're getting there. I can feel it. But they're close now too." So let's break this down as we go through it. Yes. But they're close now too. Do we think that's the Mighty Nein?
At first glance, and what I still believe, maybe that'll change if we dissect this a little bit more. But I do think that he's referring to the party.
Yeah.
Because who else could he be referring to?
Like the Somnova, maybe, like the city.
Yeah, like maybe like where the Tomb Takers hope to teleport to the Astral Sea. Maybe the city is getting close to that entry point as well, so they're like meeting up in the middle, almost, maybe.
But then, the wee babes lost without their king. So the wee babes again could mean that like the Somnovum and the Cognouza ward, they've been so like racked with this insanity that they are almost like infantile. They don't have any kind of leadership. They don't have any kind of purpose or motivation, I guess, that they do need leadership. They need the Nonagon to lead them. Or it could be Bo and Caleb, the wee babes, without their king. Like, they're fresh. They're new to this. They've only got a couple of eyes.
Yeah, I can... My initial thoughts was the wee babes was Bo and Caleb. However, it does... Maybe it's a double meaning. Maybe it's a double meaning where he was like... This was also him taunting, Liam or Caleb and Bo, but also believing himself to be like the one who can guide the lost thousands of souls in this city.
Which I think it's like an Oban situation. So I think it's an Oban situation of like, I am the one to like guide, I'm the one to lead, and it's going to be no, fuck you, like he's going to be betrayed by the thing he's trying to help, because the next line is endless hunger.
Oh, there's Dune. Dune's all about that endless hunger.
Endless hunger, limitless potential without focus. That makes me think it's the city he's talking about.
Yeah.
Endless hunger, limitless potential without focus.
Because right now, what he is kind of referring to is that, all of this cacophony of voices, they're all their own entities, all screaming out, but the Nonagon is what brings them all together, where they're then able to have, limitless possibilities, limitless creation. They're able to create whatever they want because it's a massive hive mind all working as one, as a hive mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on board. I agree with that. Because then it goes on to say, divided amongst thousands of mewling, fragmented minds. Yep. Yeah, that doesn't sound like the Mighty Nein. That's definitely the city. The Nonagon saw this when I was reborn. Now, the Nonagon saw this when I was reborn. The Nonagon, does that mean the Somnovum, like the group of 9 wizards that are kind of in charge? Are they the Nonagon? I thought Lucian was the Nonagon.
Yeah, so maybe there was a Nonagon before Lucian?
I'm sorry, I just saw Garth's comment on chat.
Endless hunger, limitless potential is Sprinkle.
It's got to be Sprinkle. So that's confusing. The Nonagon saw this when I was reborn. Okay, Lucian.
So unless so maybe the Nonagon is the Somnovum, like the nine Somnovum, and Lucian is the vessel.
Because he has said that he's the vessel for the Nonagon.
Yeah, so maybe the collective, the 9 eyes, they are the Nonagon, they're the Somnovum, but when they enter a vessel, that is the Nonagon, maybe.
Yeah, they saw it when I was reborn. I'm their savior as they were mine. So they need Lucian, presumably, to survive. They need him to bring the city back, but it seems like they need him to actually exist. I'll save them from their pain, from their wasteful existence, and you're to join me there. I guess addressing Kree for their memory.
Unless that's also a double meaning, since he knew they were being scried on, and he's like, "Y'all are coming with me." Maybe speaking to the Mighty Nein in general, or specifically, Caleb and Bo.
I just have fears of like them killing Lucian and then Caleb and Bo becoming the new vessel. Because we've said before, we don't think killing Lucian is the end of this. Like, even if they do, I think that the city is still going to be right there, being needed to be dealt with. So that was the scry. That's what she got from the scry. And then there was a little bit more later, but we got them talking about how, it seemed like he probably was putting on a bit of a performance for them. Oh man, it just made me more nervous.
I know. But when we'll get to the dream, I guess, a little bit later. Because now I guess we can talk a little bit about what Caleb saw.
Yes.
What that kind of means. A lot of people are theorizing it's just an eye thing, like the eyes that he has. Maybe it's like a true sight. Maybe he was able to see the traveler there. It could be as simple as that, but if it is as simple as that, why couldn't Bo see it?
Yeah, so it could be that she maybe has a different eye.
Oh, true. Yeah.
There was something I was looking at before. I'm just trying to bring it back up again. It could be like a boon. It says it's like generally only available to 20th level characters, but like they're the specific boons, which is a shitty word. I can't say it without like making the word sound crappy, but it's a boon. And it's essentially abilities. It's not like a feat, a super powered feat that you give your characters when they're higher levels. But some of them like kind of play in with what we've seen Lucian do. But there is a boon of true sight, which is like allows you to have true sight for a certain amount of range. I don't know if it's like that's kind of like true sight's always turned on for you, which is pretty powerful. So I'm not sure if it's that, but it definitely does seem like. I mean, because we've got to think, what else would he have possibly seen?
I know, that's what
it seems like he's probably just seen Artigan. Like,
it's got to be something like that, because I feel like if it was something bad, Liam would bring it up.
Yeah, I agree.
It's probably just like something subtle.
Yeah, this seems more like it's it's something that's not dangerous. But it's more the implication is dangerous.
Yes.
So I can absolutely see Caleb keeping something like that to himself. I don't think he's trolling Stormy Boy. I think that there's something. I think, yeah, whether it's true sight or whether it's like a remixed true sight aspect, I think it's definitely something to do with his eyes. The fact that he had to make the perception check for it's a bit weird. Like earlier, whereas this time he didn't. But maybe it could just be him coming into the power of the eye. I don't know. It's cool.
Well, So, Artagan is an archfey, but would you consider him also as like a maybe on the spectrum of like a divine being? Like it's like a gray area. Because I'm wondering, because if the Aeorians were very anti-magic, maybe one of these eye abilities is to perceive like divine entities, maybe, and like an archfey kind of enters that gray area of divinity.
Like maybe, yeah, because true sight, it's not like true sight lets you see like phase or anything, but it does let you see into the ethereal plane. That could be maybe how Artigan. No, I don't know, because it's not clear how Artigan, I guess, communicates with Jester over long distances. I know he's an archfey, but there is still limits to like worldly travel. Archfays are still limited, especially on the material plane, to how they can interact with the world. So he could be using the ethereal plane as his means of, talking with Jester, or it could just be he is so pumped up on believer juice that he's got extra godlike powers. I'm just reading the comments because it's like I think it's probably a safe bet. Not saying that's exactly what happened, but it's a safe bet to assume he was just seeing Artigan.
Yeah.
How though is the question? Probably through the eye, but is it true sight? Is it just a different feature? It's interesting to theorize.
Yeah, definitely, because I really don't know like what else it could be that he's seeing, because initially I was worried that he was seeing like I don't know because we knew it was the traveler that was speaking, but what if Caleb saw, because if it was bad, Caleb would bring it up. Because I initially thought like, oh, is it like actually like Lucian that is like masquerading as the traveler here?
That's what I thought. Yeah. Like, no joke. I thought like, is Lucian fucking with them?
Yeah.
Which is terrifying.
Yeah. That was my initial thought, but then because Liam didn't bring it up, I was like, okay, it's probably not that, because that feels pretty important to bring up if that was the case.
Yeah. Excuse me, but no. I'm excited to see how it turns out. But then we got the dream. Which
we did get the dream.
Once again, Adam wrote down what he said. Because he said, your friends are peeking, so just describe. You are wily bastards, continuing to stick in my side like a thorn in the drawers. Clever. While not enough to respect it, I'm not here to kill you. That confuses me. I think that could just be poetic language. While not enough to respect it, I'm not here to kill you. Yet I'm here to open a door. To take my reign, long may it be. You're welcome to watch if you can keep up. There's so much beyond that door. And that's when the whispers started. So I'm here to open a door, to take my reign, long may it be.
I mean, it feels pretty self-explanatory almost that he's going to become the ruler of, you know, the somnovum of the world, even potentially. Yeah, a demigod. Yeah, he's. Would you put this in the same category as like ascending? Maybe.
Maybe not.
I don't think so because they were kind of against the deities and the gods.
Yeah, it doesn't sound divine. It just sounds like incredible power and incredible influence.
But it's still like, if Lucian is capable of, will be capable of all these things that he's saying, like, you know, bending reality to his will, creating, you know, limitless possibilities and stuff, that's basically a god.
I don't see him maintaining control of it, though.
No. Heck no.
Yeah. I think he's very much like, oh yeah, I'll let the city come back, and then I will have this power. I'll have the power of the Somnovan to do what I want. Because it also seems like he wants to, you know, change aspects of the world. He's talked about destroying the Cerberus Assembly, and he's talked about, you know, creating his own order. But it's hard. Those people in those situations in like films and that, where you're like, you're going to be betrayed by the thing you're helping. Like, it feels pretty obvious. It's hard to think of like him not picking up on that, or you know, considering that he has said before he doesn't trust the Somnovan, but he seems to have gone down the rabbit hole here of like, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to reign, and then suggesting that Bo and Caleb might take over for him. Which is weird. Like we still don't know if Kree has eyes herself.
True. I know there's some people in our Discord server, specifically Annika, who is of the belief that Kree is actually, you know, the mastermind behind this, is actually more nefarious, and I really like that as well.
They didn't check the bodies, the 3 bodies, to see if they had eyes. I feel like it would have been obvious.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know. It's oh god, what does this guy want?
it feels like power, but let's talk about his line saying, where I will take my reign, long may it be. The poetic meaning behind that, because we know obviously Molly way back when said, I am your god, long may I reign. Which again is fucking poetic, because obviously Taliesin had no idea about any of this.
Yeah.
But now that we see that Lucian wants to become a godlike entity, or at least have godlike powers, and he wants his reign to be long, you know, taking this sort of like king position and stuff, it's just it's such an interesting, possibly just, you know, a coincidental parallel that has now been drawn.
In that scene too, Molly was like wearing the tapestry of Bahamut, who's like the king of the dragons as well. Like everything about that scene was regal.
Hey, and the Bahamut's a dragon, right? The king of dragons, you said. Wasn't dragons going to be his downfall? Wasn't that one of the tarot cards?
It was the tyrant, wasn't the dragon?
Or no, maybe that was his present. His present was the tyrant, I think.
Yeah, it was the red dragon.
Yeah. Oh, okay, red dragon.
Yeah.
Darn, I thought I had something there.
No, it's all good. It's all up for debate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that would be interesting though. When because the future, his future is death, which could just mean rebirth, a new beginning. His
Absolutely.
present is the dragon. Molly being wrapped in the red dragon. What if his downfall is that Molly starts fighting? Molly is still in him somehow. Starts fighting back. That's the conflict of his present. And then when he dies, his rebirth is Molly coming back
as a silver dragon.
As a silver dragon. Canon.
Which I think also Bahamut was like Molly's fate god. He was actually a follower of the Moonweaver. Which she's all about, subterfuge and all that. So she's cool with it. I don't know.
So now, do we think they're going to have a third eye when they wake up?
I think there might be more.
You think more?
Yeah, I would be down with them having like 4 or 5
me too.
eyes.
Honestly, me too.
Because you got to think, how many more long rests are they going to get?
Not many more. And I feel like the closer they get to their destination, I feel like it's gonna increase rapidly, especially now because some other members of the Tomb Takers are dead.
And we've seen Lucian almost possess the ability to give them an eye, kind of like whenever he wanted, or at least when they reached out to him. Because there was a time Bo reached out and he's like, "Oh, I'll give you another eye."
Yeah,
it seems like he has the ability to expedite. Don't think that's the word. Expedite. Shit. Expedite the process. So I could see it being more than one eyes. He did kind of describe the screams and the static and the noise being like almost unending, whereas before they've had it where it cuts off and then it's silence. This was like non-stop. We ended with them still in the dream.
Yeah. Don't like that. Don't like that.
No, it's not very good.
Maybe that's a sign that it is getting closer. Like, because it was just perpetual screams. It's the city is closer. Yeah, more powerful, stronger connection, which is why more eyes will appear. Oh man.
The image too in the opening credits. So we saw that there was a change.
Oh yeah, the intro. That was so cool.
Where the city is drawn then, and I think it's Cami. Cami is the artist that does the intros, her and her brother. She talked about, like, she did get guidance from Matt, so we can assume that is kind of a pretty realistic depiction of what the city's going to look like. Doesn't look good. No. Doesn't look good.
It definitely was very chills-inducing.
Yeah.
I was a bit worried, but it was like badass chills. Like, we're in it now. We are in it now.
Yeah, it was really cool. Oh my god, I guess I'm yawning.
Which again, just makes me think that maybe this is the last arc.
Yep.
Because why would they make it be this way if it's just gonna be like this for the next 10 episodes and then just switch it back? Like, what if this is just the last arc?
Yeah.
And they wanted to make a really special intro for it.
Yeah, because I don't see them being like, in 10, 15 episodes time, changing the intro to be like, oh, now it's Cerberus Assembly. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, they might do that.
Really good, yeah.
But
I
don't know.
Remember Trent? Remember?
Yeah. Remember when we were on Rumblecusp? Remember? God. Remember when our biggest theory was when we were going to see Vandarin?
I want to know the very first episode of What the Sheet. What episode was that?
Oh, I can't remember.
I'm going to do a quick deep dive into this because I want to know what we were talking about that very first episode.
And it was probably a much simpler time. It was over a year ago now.
Episode 92.
92? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was before Rumblecusp, because I remember our first few episodes were talking about when Rumblecusp was going to, or when TravelerCon was going to happen.
Oh, that's right. It's when they go back to Bo's place, Bo's home. They go to what's the name of Bo's town?
Oh, Comorta?
Comorta. They go to Comorta. That was the episode we started on. But they go to Comorta, meet her family, and the episode...
Oh, that was episode 92?
That was episode 92, yeah.
Oh, wow. For some reason I thought that was in, like, the 80s, or, like, late 70s or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then it was pretty much the Ishanae build up, and then the break. Oh, then the beginning of, like, the Rumblecusp arc.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So... Man, remember back then when we're like, Ishana is the biggest threat?
Yeah, Ishana's the big bad. Yep.
Yeah.
They pissed off an old hag, and now the world's gonna...
And then, like, 4 died, and we're like, ooh, Ukatoa's back.
Ukatoa's the one.
And then the dragon turtle.
Yep.
God damn it. Why can't it be bad again?
Can we just go back, please? But a moment. Oh.
Yeah, it's been, well, I could just look at how many episodes we've done. Yeah, it's been like 43 episodes since then.
Yep. Bets on Trent's kidnapping Essek.
Probably pretty low, I reckon.
Yeah, pretty low. I feel like his only reason to do that is to get at Caleb. But I don't...
He's a
don't
bitch.
necessarily see that happening.
He might do.
Yeah. So what do we think? Do we have any other final thoughts, feelings, emotions, questions, concerns? I mean, all the concerns and all the questions. On this episode, do we think that next week we're gonna have the confrontation, or is it gonna be another? Well, I actually don't know if we'll have the confrontation because they're still about a day's travel away.
Yeah.
Since they aren't very far, so
maybe?
Yeah, so I think maybe the second half, or maybe it'll be a cliffhanger ending. But I think maybe next episode might just be more exploring, more traveling, checking out the Genesis ward, that stuff. So I don't think we'll have the confrontation next week either.
Yeah, I'm kind of on board with this being the last arc.
Which is sad.
Whether or not we have like a slightly longer like epilogue than we did in the first campaign, I could see that being it, like with like a couple episodes clearing everything up. But in terms of like major arcs, I think this is probably it. Yeah, I don't know. I can't let go of the Tharister idea.
I know.
I don't know, like if no spoilers or anything. Or maybe spoilers. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's watched WandaVision, but like I was on the Mephisto train the whole way. So like I'm going down with this shit, guys. I'm like, if it's not Tharister, don't talk to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I definitely I don't want to believe that this is the last arc because, again, like many people have said, there's still so many loose ends. I still think Tharizdun is connected in this somehow. Obviously, Cerberus Assembly are a huge issue.
Yeah.
I definitely think there is, at the very minimum, going to be a sizable time skip after this arc.
Yeah.
I feel like there has to be.
EJ's art just said random thought, but I think the Horn of Orcus will come into play. That's the best like theory I've seen so far in terms of absolute chaos.
That would definitely be an interesting.
That'd be amazing. Just out of nowhere. Oh yeah, the Horn of Orcus. Like Lucian comes out from the shadows and he's just got the horn on his head.
Yeah.
That'd be incredible. Yeah. Oof.
So Tharizdun's behind everything. Sprinkle is a lich in disguise. And Vandrin is having a cookout in the city.
Vandrin is there. He was lying the whole time. Yeah. He's by the water that Lucian and Kree are by. That is
yes.
We can hear it.
Yeah. They're probably discussing Tusk Love as we speak.
Yeah. Oh wow. Did he fly on the wall in that conversation?
Oh god. Oh no. God. But okay, what do we think the likelihood is of Molly making some kind of an appearance, whether it be an appearance of him like breaking through Lucian's persona a little bit, or like memories coming back, or actually like manifesting, like taking over Lucian's body again, or do we think Molly is just gone? There's no hope, no saving him? Don't expect anything.
I think it would have to be very well done, and like I have faith that it can be well done. I think it would have to be very, like, not just a throwaway thing. It'd have to be really well set up for it to actually happen. Whether or not it's just like a matter of, as Lucian's dying, a bit of Molly peeks through.
Oh yeah.
If there's a reveal that like he's been cognizant of Molly this entire time and has just been keeping him down, that would be incredible. Yeah. But I think it could fall into like fan service if it's just like, oh, Molly's here too.
Yeah, I don't think it would be as simple as like, oh look, Molly's here, or like, oh, this is Molly. Yeah. It would be like in his dying breath, like a little bit of like the Lucian's walls, break down, and Molly is able to, like, a piece of Molly is able to break through again.
I think because I think it's hard to say because it is so much like Molly doesn't necessarily exist. It's just a different aspect of Lucian.
Ooh, Garth brings up an interesting point. If we get Molly back, it will turn out to be Lucian acting.
Yeah,
that would be interesting if Lucian uses their connection with Molly as like a tool to persuade them or to trick them.
Like they're going for the killing blow, and he's like, "Wait, it's me, Molly." And Yasha holds back, and then he stabs her in the gut.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I
feel like that's also like an anime moment, though.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Tier list. That's a good. Yeah. No, go ahead.
I just think it's. I don't think Molly technically exists anymore.
Yeah.
Because we see too much of Molly in Lucian. I think that's what we get, kind of. I don't think Lucian's ever going to revert to Molly. Molly was a product of his revival and time at the circus. I don't see him as like a trapped personality within Lucian. I see Lucian as is back. He's 100% whole again, and his personality is similar because that's the kind of part that was left behind. Yeah. So as crappy as it sounds, but I could absolutely see him using that to his advantage if he feels
the bastard
that way inclined. Yeah. Oh yeah, bastard man.
But tier list. Where would we rank this on an A, B, C, D?
So S is the best.
S is like peak D&D, peak Critical Role.
Well, have a think. Like, what kind of episode does this one remind you of? Like, if you had to compare it to a previous episode.
I really liked. I don't know. I can't really think of one to compare it to, but there were a lot of funny moments in this. I really enjoyed the lore bits we got. But.
I'd say Charlie. Like, it reminds me a lot of like, if we talk about like exploring a new area, finding new things, having a bit of fun, having some conflict towards the end. It reminds me of a lot of when they first went to Darktoe. When they were still on board with Avantika, they got to Darktoe, them having to blend in and play along, and then also the revelation at the end, and then the cliffhanger at the end.
Yeah.
So that's probably around that episode for me. I don't know where that ranked on your tier list. I'm going to say, what is it, S-A, B,
C, D, yeah.
I say B. I agree with Lynn.
Yeah.
I'd go B.
Yeah, I was going to go with B too. While there's a lot of stuff that I liked about this episode, not enough important stuff happened narratively. Like, the lore stuff we got isn't necessarily stuff we needed. There's just kind of extra like flavor, some fluff that we got, some interesting tidbits. Yeah, it's a dungeon crawl episode. There's nothing wrong with dungeon. Like a B isn't bad. Like, B is like average. Like, this is like a standard episode. Like,
I'm not good at ranking things at all.
Neither am I. That stream took a very long time to do.
It's so subjective.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah. But yeah, no, good. But good episode. I really enjoyed it. I thought that it, even though I really enjoyed last week's episode, I watched it on like 2 times speed because I just needed to get through it.
Yeah, I watched the second half at 2 times speed.
Yeah, it was a good episode, but it was a lot of planning. And like I said, the plan worked out, but it was probably like a good 2 hours of them talking about what to do with their bombs in the towers with no real forward movement, which sometimes gets me down a bit. Because it's just like, oh my God, I just kind of want progress. But not to say last week's episode was bad, because I did still enjoy it. It was pretty easy watching. This episode, felt like we're moving forward, we're getting progress, we're getting things done. So yeah, definitely easier to watch in that regard. And yeah, we got Charlie and we got Baldford, so of course it's going to be a good episode.
Yeah, Charlie and Baldford made everything worth it in this episode. And I'm very interested to see if they're able to repair Charlie and if anything changes. I think that's what I'm most interested in the short term.
To see if they can repair Ford.
yeah,
and
that
his
too.
Beautiful hair.
Oh, Ford did have great hair. Now it's gone. Oh.
Yeah.
Out of all of the deaths of this campaign, did we not even consider the death of Ford's hair? And honestly, it's the most depressing. It is the saddest death of all.
He's gonna play an elf next campaign and won't be able to grow a beard at all.
Oh God. Yeah.
Oh boy.
What we'll get. But if that is all of the thoughts and theories that we have, I suppose we can go ahead and call this one finished. As always, thank you all so very much for joining us this episode. It is always such a pleasure chit-chatting with all of you, sharing theories, talking about our shared passion in Critical Role. This is one of my favorite days of the week where we can all just unpack the insanity of these Critical Role episodes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's definitely such a pleasure. And I appreciate everyone who sticks around and talks, even if you're just lurking and just listening in on the conversations. We appreciate everyone here. The support is amazing. Thank you all so much. It means a lot. Are there any nothings coming this weekend for Hit Dice Heroes? Correct.
Any nothings?
Any? There's nothing coming up for Hit Dice Heroes.
There's nothing coming this week.
Any nothings?
You confused the hell out of me. I was like, what the fuck's a nothing? Makes sense. No. Yeah. There's no Hit Dice Heroes this weekend. Next weekend is when we will be back. But you should definitely go check out the one-shot that Nico and Maya and Kiralee and some special guests, Ross and Debbie, did last weekend because I was away. So they did an awesome game and it's really fun. You should go check it out on our YouTube channel. Yeah,
it was awesome. And so, as always, don't forget to love each other. But most importantly, don't forget to love yourself because you are important. You matter. You are loved. You are cared for. So please take care of yourself. It's very important. They're here for you. Everyone is here for you. Spread the love. Spread the love. The world needs more of it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And so, I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful rest of your morning, day, evening, wherever you may be on this glorious earth. And we will see you all very soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.